Hello guys and welcome. We're back here for another day of the STPL. Now I don't know why, even though I've not moved anything, I'm kind of off center on my camera today. So maybe not, maybe I just sit like this. Kind of weird, but we'll figure it out. I'm actually wearing my ASL shirt today. I'm completely holding the wrong side. I got this from the LA LAN they held. I was one of the people that got one on Metrino. I finally got it a couple of weeks ago and I just realized I've never actually worn it. So here we go. We are going to have two relatively shorter series today. Floating chair kicks. Yeah, so we're going to have a couple of shorter series today. We did have a couple of walkovers, so a little bit unfortunate, but when you have a global team league that goes on for well, it's not a ridiculous amount of time this time. It's not like 15 months like we're at before, but it sometimes can be a little bit difficult for the players to arrange a time. So I've decided to put both the series with walkovers today, so we get them out of the way, and then on Wednesday and Friday we'll have the full series. That should be a lot of fun. So let's have a quick look at how the rankings stand. I know Albert was looking to see how EF and NiCe were doing, so here we go. I've kind of gone through all the standings before, but looking at EF, they are currently in 7th and NiCe are in 9th, so they're both pretty close up there. iRk, the other team we're going to be seeing today, are currently in 5th, and the other team, which is Valhalla team, are in 2nd. So at least statistically, you could say there is a little bit of a mismatch, but when you look at how close the table actually is, it's not really that much of a big deal. There's not actually that many wins in it. The top 8 teams at the end of STPL Season 2 will be going into the playoffs, where our wonderful sponsors Liquipedia will be doing a bracket contest, which should be a lot of fun. So let's actually introduce our first couple of teams here, and then I'll go through who is playing and who actually isn't. That's one of the unfortunate things, but NiCe versus iRk. Obviously iRk have got more total wins, but they have played for an entire 15 months more than NiCe have in the STPL, given they played in Season 1. NiCe have been doing okay so far. They've not been the best team, but they've been up against some really strong opponents, and they're kind of on an upswing at the moment. So looking forward to seeing how they are going to do today. And now NiCe, unfortunately, were the team that gave 2 walkovers. So iRk are technically up 2-0 at the start of this series. It is a little bit unfortunate. We'll start at 1-0 because Chef Kev was the first no-show. We're going to start with Good versus DeWalt. That should be a fun matchup. It is a PvP. It's going to be on Neo Outlier. We're then going to have a TVT between Astro and Marwin, although I think Astro may have played Protoss. So I may need to quickly reload the UI in a second. I just suddenly remembered that happened. I'll do it between the games, that's fine. And James versus Oyaji, unfortunately, was a walkover in favor of Oya. So that's just the way the cookie crumbles sometimes. So it's a little bit of a hype killer to have walkovers. It's certainly something that I know the team leaders don't really want either. So it happens. We'll move past it. We should have some great games regardless. Let's have a look at our first map. We are going to be skipping Desperado in this first match, but we're going to be heading into Neo Outlier. Now, it is going to be a PvP, and it's going to be DeWalt playing for iRk. And funnily enough, there's only been 2 PvPs here so far, and DeWalt's been in both of them, and he's won both of them. So, a little bit of history here. A little bit of history here for him. We'll have to see how that's obviously going to play out. Now, it's not often we get to see one player play so many of the same matchup on the same map over and over, but winning 2 in a row is not easy. Now, when you look at DeWalt himself, he is an absolutely incredible player. DeWalt from Russia, of course. If you don't know who he is, then I'm not sure where you've been, but DeWalt has been around the scene for quite a while now. He's one of the best non-Korean Protoss players, and he's actually one of the highest ranked players in the STPL overall, in the top 3 even. I believe he just, you know what, let's have a look. We can actually have a look. We have the power to view the top 10. I'm going to look to add a way of being able to see everyone else as well. But if you look at the top 10, DeWalt inching over Koga there in his last game. Just behind both of them is Eon Zerg, Spire, FamSE, Tai2, Dragon, and Terra. So if you're ever wondering, well, there's Koreans in the STPL, they're going to be so much better than everyone else. In the top 10, there is only actually 4 Korean players. 2 of them, 2 of the top 2, but that's because they're just ridiculously good. But when you look at the win number, DeWalt's actually won more games than Noob has, so kind of crazy. But I love all this statistic stuff, so that's one of the things I've always kind of focused on. But if we have a look at his opponent, it's going to be Good. Now, Good from South Korea, as far as I'm aware. But essentially, Good has played 4 games. None of them have been a PvP, but he has got a 50% win ratio, so that is something we can go with. And let's get into game number 1. It's DeWalt versus Good, and it's going to be here on Neo Outlier. Okay, starting us off here in the top middle position, we have the Russian god himself. It's DeWalt fighting for iRk. And his opponent spawning down here in the bottom right-hand position, we do have the red Protoss fighting for NiCe. It's Master. Now it looks like we had a little bit of a sub here, so I will quickly fix that because that's another thing I have the power to do. So let's just figure out if this is going to work. Okay, I'm going to need to do this the old-fashioned way. One thing to look out for, guys, is I actually added a bunch of new stats down in the bottom right, so keep an eye out for those. Okay, there we go. We've fixed it. The overlay's fixed. We are all good to go, I believe. Unless I need to do the top again. Yeah, I do. When there's that's one thing I need to work heavily on when I get some additional time, is just making it easier for when everything goes a little bit skew-if, like when there's some kind of replacement that I don't know about. And now we've got Master going for a little bit of a forward gateway here, DeWalt going for gateway in his main. Both players are scouting, obviously, but Master did opt to delay his scout. Wait, no, DeWalt opted to delay his scout because he's actually going for 2 gateways in the main. Now, 2 gate against 1 gate is certainly not a position most Protoss players want to be in, especially when you're up against someone as good as DeWalt is, but we'll have to see how Master reacts to this. Looks like Master actually going to throw down his own second gateway as well, so it's going to be even gateways for now. But DeWalt somehow already up 2 supply. Did he start a Zealot earlier? I guess that must be all it is. Yeah, it is. Okay. I was going to say, like, how can he be up 2 supply already? Is that possible? But yeah, makes sense. Yeah, one of the walkovers is in EF versus VT. It is a little bit of a shame, as I said before, but unfortunately there's not really too much we can do about it. It is a global team league. Sometimes it can be difficult for both players to appear at the same time, and it's one of those awkward moments. But luckily enough, in Season 2, we've not really had many walkovers. There's been maybe, given today, there's been maybe 5 walkovers overall, which, given how many games has actually been played, that isn't really that bad. Like Season 1, especially round 2 and 3, there was tons of them. And that was definitely a hype killer, but it looks like Master's scout the fact it is going to be 2 gate from DeWalt. He doesn't need to see the gates to see that, just needs to see the Zealot count. Now, DeWalt's going to get a probe in the main, see the 2 gates as well. I don't know where Master Zealot's going, but that is certainly not where he wants to be. I think he thinks he's been proxied or something, but in terms of that question, Albert, you say, would DeWalt pass scan if he wins today? I'm going to be honest, I don't know. We'll have to see what happens, because the mathematical side of things, I'm not very good at. Luckily enough, I've got like an algorithm that does it in the background. carefully designed by Radley that all does it in SQL and figures it all out for me. So, okay, shield battery going down, but using it to build a little bit of a wall. Unfortunately, Master is going to be in a little bit of trouble here. It's going to be 5 zealots against 4. This is what happens when you skip one of the zealots early on. Now, this is definitely a fight that Master is going to struggle with, but he does need to take it, because if he loses the pylon, that's going to be no additional zealots coming in. If you have no more zealots, how are you going to fight this? DeWalt is going to be building 2 at a time. Looks like he might actually be going for a Cybernex core back at home, and it looks like Master may actually fall here. 2 of his gateways are taken down. He's trying to add 2 gateways in his main and a shield battery. There is, in fact, no additional gas or cyber core coming in here for DeWalt, but being able to get this gateway is just absolutely crazy. We're going to have gas coming in a little bit too late here. DeWalt, with 4 additional zealots on the way, should be able to take this game right here, right now, but we've seen some miracle holds so far in the STPL. Can this be one of them? It's going to be tough, but it looks like Master's ready to try it. He's got some probes in the front, zealots in the back. He's taking a little bit of damage on his Nexus, but as long as he doesn't take economic damage, as long as he can actually save his Nexus at the end of the day, he can still win here. There is a shield battery, of course, which is going to help a lot. And there's even cannons coming in. This is definitely a bit of a panic move, but a move that Master has to make. He's down nearly 20 supply, though. So this is definitely going to be difficult. The Nexus at 3/4, well, about 2/3 HP now. Things are not looking very good for him, but he's still trying to hold on. The cannons are coming in, but is he going to be able to save his Nexus? That is the important question. Looks like maybe not. The cannon not going to warp in time. The Nexus, the HP is falling, and boom goes the dynamite. Master does have enough money to rebuild a Nexus, but does he have enough willpower to rebuild a victory here? He does have a gateway at the front. There's another 4 zealots coming in. And, I mean, DeWalt's in a dominating position in this game. 14 supply Master is down to. DeWalt up to Goon Tech. There we go. That's probably game, eh? And Master's going to tap out here very soon because he is not mining. GG. Master taps out. DeWalt, with a sad face, replies in kind. So that's one of those weird games, but you know what? It happens. Master stepped in for good at the last second. He did make it, so we didn't have 3 walkovers, which would have been awful. I know Master had a bit of trouble with this team this week, so hopefully that'll all get sorted and everything, and we won't have anything happen like this again. But I am gonna go quickly into, well, not quickly. I'm gonna go straight into game number 2 because it feels kind of cheating if I take a break after that one. That was only like 5 minutes, or 6 minute 20. Okay, so it is gonna be a PBT. It's gonna be SPX subbing in for Marwin, so I don't know what it is about this week, but we've got a ton of subs, especially in this one game. So I will quickly sort the overlay. As a matter of fact, I will take a little bit of a break, and we will see you in just a second. Did you know it was possible to drop behind the naturals in Fighting Spirit? It's a bit finicky to land in the right place. You essentially need to... There's very specific spots in each of the spawns, which I'm going to try and show you here. Hang on, we're in for some chop. I copy that. There we go, there's one. So I believe there's actually more spots than this, but essentially it's quite hard to do. So you've got one here. I found 2 over here. There's also one here as well. You can also drop, I think, in this location. One thing to point out is the ghost cannot actually move. But of course what it does give you the option of doing is it allows you to nuke. Is already at DeWalt's front door. DeWalt has absolutely no idea this is happening. A lot of Series units did break through the other power generator, but finally... Oh my god, the Corsair sees it. But is it a little bit too little too late? DeWalt is a man who has incredible micro against Zerg, so let's see if he can hold on here. He's not going to be able to hold the temple at the very least, so... And there's going to be speedlings flooding across the map very, very shortly. Now, Corsair's not going to help. It's going to be a scout coming in. A scout's like the only option he has. The Zealot, for some reason, is moonwalking on top of the Dragoon. Nice probe drill. Actually doing a really, really good job there, but is it just too little too late here? How is DeWalt going to hold on to this? Seri has lost one of his only overlords, though. He's going to lose his other ones. And DeWalt's actually not doing a terrible job. He's holding on. He's not taking any probe damage. He is now supply blocked. So both players are going to be supply blocked here. The cannon is going to come up in the mineral line. The Seri is so unbelievably supply blocked. We're not going to see any additional links coming from him. And DeWalt is holding on. It's 21 probes against 8 drones. The pylon's coming up. He's going to have to repower all his buildings. But there's a cannon here now. The probes are still alive. 20 probes. DeWalt holds. A scout as well. Insult to injury here for this failed attack by Seriosity. DeWalt was perfect micro, holding on. Seri once again trying to build overlords, but they're going down to a Corsair. And even the gateway is going to survive here. And, I mean, DeWalt, this is perfect for iRk. They needed this. They struggled at the beginning of the season. They came back and they have done a fantastic job. GG, Seri taps out. DeWalt takes game number 5 and gives the series win to iRk. Okay guys, we are back here for some more STPL action. I fixed the overlay. Race pickers are the bane of my existence. I had it fixed for a while, but then something else broke, so I'll need to figure out how to fix this properly, but that's the way it goes when you have a Java overlay that you designed yourself when you're not very good at Java. You can have some problems. Things are definitely a lot better than they were 2 years ago, let's just say that. But let's have a look at our next game. We're not going to have Marwyn, but we are going to have an equally as skilled Terran player in his place. We're actually going to be... Okay, I've noticed another problem with the overlay, so let's... We'll just ignore this one, and we'll fix this in like after the cast, but it's fine. So if we have a look at our first player here, it's going to be iRk's SPX. Now, he is going to be playing Terran. I know his race icon says he's playing Protoss for whatever reason, but we'll fix that. I did tons of stuff yesterday, and wow, yeah, I shouldn't have done it all yesterday. I should have tested it properly, but I finished what I was coding at like 12:30 at night when I was meant to go to bed at 12, so forgive me if there's a few little bugs today, but hopefully it should all be good. SPX hasn't done so well so far, but pretty much all he's playing is Terran versus Terran against some of the best players in the world, so not too much to be said there, or the best players in the world outside of Korea, or even in Korea, because he played Scan as well. But his opponent fighting for Ash, fighting for NiCe even, is going to be the wonderful Astro. Now, Astro is a Terran main who has decided for some reason to play PvT now, so he is going to be race picking this week against SPX, so it is going to be a PvT. That should be lots of good. I don't know why I said Ash Streamer. I think I've got your games on the mind, because I'm looking forward to being able to cast them. Probably going to do that on Friday, I think. I need to figure that all out, but it's going to be a PvT, and it's going to be on our third map here. It's going to be New Tornado. Now, New Tornado, one of the more standard maps in the map pool. There is a big difference on this compared to any other map, but I think they were playing on the IC Cup version, so it's not going to come into it. This is why I need people to play on the proper maps, but essentially, the way this map normally worked is there's 2,000 minerals in the natural mineral patches, so yeah, PvT is currently 0-7 in favor of Terran. It's not looking too good for Protoss on this map, I've got to be honest. But there has been a few mismatches when you look at the players that played against each other. Some of the matches haven't been sort of super close. But Medinho taking out last was actually a big upset. And Reyna taking out Dragon was an upset as well. So it's been a pretty good map so far for Terran. We'll have to see how Astro does here against SPX as we get into game number 3. It's going to be SPX versus Astro. Okay, starting us off here. Starting in the top right hand corner, we do have the red Protoss fighting all the way from Australia. It's Astro. And his opponent spawning out here in the top left hand corner, we do have the... I'm going to say the lime green Terran. I know it's probably the wrong shade of green. Fighting from Russia, it's SPX. Okay, now Astro was pointing out that it is meant to be top versus bottom, but luckily enough, we had good colors, so we don't have to worry about it. SPX a little bit confused that Astro is playing Protoss, but that's what race picking does for you. And Alba asking in chat how many time zones there are in Russia, and Dreamer just said something, and I had no idea it would be that high. But if you didn't know, Dreamer is Russian, and he said there's 11 time zones in Russia. I had no idea there was that many. Oh my goodness. Okay, so we've got SPX building his barracks to the wrong side of the depot, which is kind of weird, but maybe he thought he was against Terran to begin with, because you usually do want to wall in against the first Zealot, and Astro is building a forward gate, so there is going to be a Zealot coming in quite quickly here. Yeah, Albert, Dreamer is actually Russian, so I believe him. Like, if anyone would know, it's him. Russia is an incredibly big place, so... it's just kind of hard to comprehend how big it actually is. Especially when a lot of people don't know, like, Dreamer, isn't a lot of Russia, like, uninhabited still, because it's just not fit for human life. It's kind of crazy. Because there's, like, huge parts of Siberia where no one lives, I think. But looks like we do have that wall in coming in from SPX. Factory coming on up as well. Now the first Zealot is already on the way. SPX unfortunately has not scouted in the correct direction, so he's not going to know about this until it gets into his main. Now I really hope... no, I can't actually click there. But I believe they played on the IC Cup version, which did change the map ever so slightly, but only when it comes to the natural minerals. I don't know if they thought it'd be more balanced. But there's a reason why I downloaded all the official versions of all the maps, because I don't like the IC Cup versions very much. Looks like we are going to SPX against a Zealot. This is, of course, Russia versus Australia. Not sure how good the connection will be, but looks like the micro is pretty crisp from both players so far. So that's obviously a big help. Now, second Zealot is on the way. Is there going to be a core behind this? Yes, there is. Core is just about finishing up. So he should follow up these Zealots with a Dragoon here. Now there's 3 Marines now. Looks like the Marines getting caught a little bit on the SCV. Oh no! That's a pretty big deal, losing that 1 Marine. But looks like he is going to be able to keep the Marines alive for a little bit longer. Losing an SCV, not the best position to be in, but he is up 2 workers still over Astro, as Astro has been spending a lot of time and effort microing these Zealots against these Marines. And Albert, net wars are all Polish. Poland's quite a small place, so it's not too bad for them. It's the Russian players that must have a hard time getting together. But they had a big LAN again over the weekend, I believe. Is it Pavi that cast it? I don't know how to... oh, Nation Wars, yeah. Yeah, I think his name's like Palvi or Pavi or something. He's one of like the biggest Russian casters. Now SPX is finally going to scout the fact there's a forward gateway. He gets his SCV into the main, which is going to be a big move. He sees the double gateway. He sees the range is on the way in immediately. Before even seeing it, he's going to add a bunker because that's super important. Allows you to expand behind it. He was looking to it a little bit of a counter attack, but now he knows how many Dragoons are already out and how many are going to be there. He spawns back. He runs back even. Now with 4 Marines in this bunker, it should make it a little bit harder to break, but does need to ensure that he doesn't lose this tank here. This tank is the linchpin of this defense. The bunker, if it goes down, you're in trouble. But if the tank goes down, you are in massive trouble. Although I guess if the bunker goes down, you usually outright die, so you lose both anyway. But that's not more to be said. Hey Buena, good to see you again, man. I always love seeing how many Rev people there are around. Like, Revs always come out. They're always here for STPL. It's kind of cool. Now, we got tanks against Dragoons, against a bunker. Is there any more common historical matchup? Now, the SCV is going to get back into the main. He's going to see the Robo. This is a fantastic scout.
STPL FTW. QIKZ fighting.
Thank you so much, Aggie. For the 13th month resub, man, means so much. I can't believe you've been around. Like, I know this sounds really stupid, but I can't even believe I've been streaming for 13 months. But I know I definitely have. It just feels odd. It's like STPL Season 1 lasted more than a year, and it lasted more than 13 months as well. So I shouldn't be that surprised. It's just still kind of crazy that I've been doing the STPL now for so long, but Astro, gonna be pushing forward. Nope, gonna think twice about that. Doesn't want to lose any units to these tanks. There is going to be a tank on the high ground. He will have siege mode coming in. Now, it looks like he went for mines first, possibly. That's a very late upgrade. Yeah, that's very weird. I guess he must have gone for mines, but he's not got any vultures just yet. So, let's see if he got mines. Yeah, he did. So he went mines then siege mode. I think it was because he thought he was going to push, and then when he realized he wasn't going to, he didn't switch. But mine's going to be super important in this defense. He is going to be up against a Reaver shuttle. Now, there is turrets coming up in the mineral lines. It's very important to do that. He's going to turret at the bunker as well. I always feel like this turret's a little bit... I can't think of the right word right now, but it's kind of unnecessary. I think it'd be better to have the turret down here just because your bunker's already giving you anti-air here. But I suppose it does help if there is any like sneak DTs or anything. You didn't see the support bay, so maybe he could have thought maybe it's proxy DTs, and it's very important to defend against proxy DTs if you don't know 100% what's going on. Now, Vulture gonna see this with the mine. Very important scout. Astro, of course, not gonna have shuttle speed for a very long time. Looks like he's gonna skip it entirely. I really do wonder, like, I know it probably doesn't time out very well on the build orders and stuff for Protoss, but it almost feels like just getting shuttle speed is good. Like, I never feel like a slow shuttle is going to do that much damage, but a speed shuttle, that's when things start getting really dangerous. Now here we go, a big Scarab going off, only hitting one of the SCVs. Second Scarab going down, hitting another 3 though. And it's damage like this that Astro needs to get done because he is down in worker count. But look, here's where this turret would really help. The Zealot getting dropped off behind the minerals. I mean, I guess it is going to save him against the tank shots, but damn, that was an unfortunate place to be dropped. Now, this was actually the proper version of the map, which I'm glad about, but kind of crazy. If you want to see the if you want to see the rosters of all the teams, you can actually check them out on Liquipedia. There's a few that haven't been fully updated there. I'm working to get those updated for you guys, but I know that Rev's roster is on there. Pretty much everything is on there thanks to wonderful people that have been helping out. If you want to help out with Liquipedia as well, join the STPL Discord channel. ask in the general chat and I'll add you to the Liquipedia channel and you can jump on and help as well. Okay, so the Reaver Shell not really able to do too much anymore. This is when kind of you need speed because you can't really... You've already taken damage, so you can't afford to take any more damage to a turret. Ooh, this is difficult, but here we go. Looks like the Reaver's going to drop out. There's only a single tank up here. The Dragoon finishes it off. Doesn't focus the tanks, focuses a single SCV. I suppose any little... or any amount of damage helps, but... obviously, the more damage you do, the better. We're going up to 5 gateways here for Astro. We don't have shuttle speed, but we do have a Citadel coming in with Zealot's leg speed. Now, there's no third base just yet. There's been no attempt at a third base either from the looks of that probe. From the look of the Vulture, sorry. Oh my god, that Dragoon missed so many shots on that mine. He's even getting a little smiley face. That's kind of funny. Okay, wow, he's actually going to kill the bunker. Oh, it's in the way. It's in the way of the scanner. When this happens, it feels so bad. You're just like, oh no, the one thing that could have gone wrong. He's finally adding this turret in. Oh, the Dragoon going down immediately. The sacrificial lamb Dragoon. Oh, he does get a single SCV with that. That Scarab would usually bug, so that's actually a little bit of a bonus there. Obviously, trading Scarabs for SCVs is what you want to do. Now, this probe is going to find out the hard way. You're not allowed to get a third base for free against Terran because they most likely will have a Vulture over there. Now, he did spend all of his mines, so we're not going to see that, but... oh, Astro doing a really good job actually scouting that. Pulling back, not losing the probe, and likely going to go to the other natural, which, to be honest, is a little bit of a better place to take on this, or a little bit of a better base to take on this map, given it is further from your opponent. And you also gain access to the other main as well, which is very, very important in a 3-player map. Now looks like SPX is going with what he has. He has... wait. Does he have any upgrades? No, he doesn't even have +1. He's just going for it. He thinks, well, my opponent is going to be going for a third base right about now. I've got a lot of tanks. I didn't really take too much damage from the Reaver, and he is going to try and jump on his opponent before he can really get set up. The third base, of course, coming up in the other main. And this is a very, very good place for SPX to be attacking into. Here we go. Let's actually zoom out. Let's have a look at the full engagement. The Dragoon's going to come down from the high ground. The Zealots actually connecting pretty well on the tanks. Astro is doing a very good job against SPX's army here. Some Dragoons coming in from the back. A mine in a very precarious position is taken down. And SPX able to beat through all of the Dragoons here. And this is where problems start to mount here, as SPX is now up 40 supply. And Astro is going to struggle to get units out of his main. This is one of the major issues when you're playing against a Terran who goes for a big timing push. If you don't hit and kill all of the units in the right way, if you don't damage the army, and oh, the mine! How did that mine not go off? GG, Astro taps out, and SPX takes game number 3 for iRk. Now, of course, we know that set 4 was a walkover, so that does actually make it a 4-0 sweep here for iRk. I completely forgot what that word was for a second. But that's just the way the cookie crumbles sometimes. So it's a little bit unfortunate that we only get 2 games in that series, but really well played by SPX and DeWalt there to win the series. And that's also very important for iRk, as they need these wins. They were actually struggling a little bit earlier on in the season, but they're pulling their way back as always. So let's head in to a quick break while I set up for set number 2. It's going to be EF versus Valhalla team. See you guys in about, I'd say about 4 to 5 minutes. Don't go anywhere.